Hi, everybody. I'm John Bard, managing editor of Children's Book Insider, the newsletter for children's writers, and fighting bookworm in chief at the CBI Clubhouse, our brand new community for children's writers. You could find it at cbiclubhouse.com. Today's topic: writing children's books, 4 rules beginning writers should never break. In the pages of Children's Book Insider and at the CBI Clubhouse, we often talk about the rules of writing for kids, citing proper page lengths and story types for different age groups. A better term would probably be guidelines. These rules exist only to tell you what, in general, editors like to see in the manuscript sent to them. And of course, for every rule there are numerous exceptions. But while we'd all like to think our book is strong enough to override the guidelines, this is usually not the case. So, with that in mind, here are some rules that shouldn't be broken until you really know what you're doing. Don't write picture books in rhyme. Yes, you've seen them in the stores and kids like them, but children also like picture books that aren't written in rhyme. It takes a great deal of skill and hard work to craft an original story, complete with unique characters in about 1,000 words. It takes another skill entirely to tell the story in rhyme. If you've got it, great. But don't assume that because your story is aimed at young children, it has to rhyme. Always try to write it in prose first. Once you've got the story on paper, decide if the rhyming format will add to the text. If the answer is yes, make sure it's strong rhyme. It has a consistent meter, uses no cliches or extra words, and has a rhythm that is easy to read aloud. Don't disregard designated word lengths. No editor is going to turn down a terrific book just because the text length falls outside the average guidelines. If your young adult novel is complete in 100 pages, there's no sense padding the manuscript simply because most YAs are longer. But length guidelines are there for a reason. Publishers have determined about how much text kids of different ages can read, and so it behooves you to try to stay as close to the guidelines as possible. And if you've ever tried to get a group of 4-year-olds to sit still for a 2,000-word picture book, you'll understand why editors are leaning towards shorter texts in the youngest age brackets. When submitting to magazines, it's absolutely essential that you stick to the requested word limits because articles must fit within a finite amount of space on the page. Too long or too short can mean instant rejection. Don't provide testimonials and queries. It's nice to have lots of neighborhood kids read your manuscript and give you positive feedback, but your potential editor doesn't need to hear about it. Frankly, editors at children's book publishers don't give much credence to testimonials from readers who may be family or friends of the author. Also, don't clutter up the query letter with ideas of why children need your book or what they'll learn from it. That's up to the editor to decide. Now, there's one exception if you've written a nonfiction book and you could show that there aren't any other or many other books, at least in print, that cover the same subject. Keep your query letter tight, brief, and to the point. Provide an intriguing plot synopsis or nonfiction outline, relevant information about yourself, and enclose a self-addressed stamped envelope. Sell your book, not your reasons for writing it. And finally, don't write a series before selling the first book. We've critiqued many manuscripts from authors who say, "I've got 6 more books written with these characters. Should I mention that to the editor when I submit my manuscript?" Our answer is always no. Unless an editor is specifically looking for new series proposals, and the books were written from the start to form a series, this is a bad idea. Realize that series are created as a group of books that are bound together by some sort of hook. In fiction, it might be the club the main characters form, a neighborhood they all live in, or a cause they champion. In nonfiction, it's a topic, like natural sciences or biographies, and an age group. Rarely do you see picture book fiction series. What does happen is a character may become very popular with readers, and the author is asked to write another book featuring the same cast. These fiction series actually grow slowly, one book at a time. So, unless you've conceived your books as a traditional series and are able to send a thought-out series proposal to the editor, stick to selling one book at a time. When an editor sees you have numerous manuscripts featuring the same characters and similar plots, she may feel that you've spent too much time writing new material and not enough time revising what you've already got. And remember, each book, series or not, must stand on its own. It needs a strong beginning, well-developed middle, and satisfying end. No fair leaving the ending unfinished with the intention of continuing the story in the next book. Well, that was a lot of don'ts. So here's one do for you. Come and visit us at the CBI Clubhouse, cbiclubhouse.com, and get lots more information about writing children's books. Until next time, this is John Bard. We'll see you.